Okay, so today we'll discuss about chapter 7, module 7, access control for information system. So in this chapter we'll discuss about four things: how the access control protects the data, how it protects file system, how it protects the executables, that means applications in the machine, and what are the best practices to be followed for information system access control. Okay, go to the first slide. Access control for data. So for every IT company or IT department, the privacy and security of data is very important. Okay, so security of data, data should be secured. That's why we have encryption and all those things. And integrity of data means the data will not be altered or corrupted or changed without the authorized person's permission. Okay, only authorized persons can alter the data. You are not supposed to alter or corrupt the data. That's what integrity means. Okay. So for all these things, securing and integrity of maintaining integrity of data, we need access controls. And again, here the information is available in two states. One is the data at rest, and another one data in motion. Data at rest means they are stored in a storage system. Example, see here, they are stored in a server or a database. They are stored in a USB or flash or local disk drive. They are stored in personal devices, my own computers. They are stored in cloud, ThinkSpeak or any cloud platform, Azure or Microsoft, right? OneDrive is there, Google Drive is there. Okay, Dropbox, they are stored in the data cloud. Okay, then archive and physical storage. I store the data in my disk or tape. Okay. What about data in motion? They are the data which is in transit. See, they are moving from one network to another. Okay, you are being transferring data or downloading a file, uploading a file. All those things are called as data in motion. See here, web downloads and uploads. It may be Wi-Fi or mobile network. Okay, then LAN file transfer. You are transferring a file to the LAN. Okay, then cloud data sync. You are going to synchronize the data into the cloud, uploading data to cloud. Then peer-to-peer file sharing. So two machines are being sharing files. Okay, two peers. All these are data in motion. So for protecting data in either rest or motion, we need the access control. So first thing, data at rest, we call it as DAR, DAR. Okay, so it is simply the data stored. It is permanently or documented. It may be stored in a tape or a disk, like earlier we had a optical disk, we called as CD, and we have hard disk. So whenever you store the data in these type of which one devices, we call it as data at rest. Okay, and wherever they are being resting, they can be at very risk. No, they can be at high risk. So we have to protect the data. Sometimes no, the data will be stored in web servers. Sometimes the people will from outside also will try to get the data from web server. They will be vulnerable to attack. Sometimes the devices like smartphone, tablet, flash, laptops, all are prone to physical theft. Okay, I just kept my project data in my laptop. I kept my project data in my flash, and somebody took my laptop or my flash drive. They're all possible cases of security breaches, right? So we need to make sure that the data which stored in the disk or laptop or flash should be secured. Okay. So securing the data at rest, we have two types of access controls. Okay, this one we have mandatory access control and we have discretionary access control. Mandatory access control means only administrators can grant the access. They will decide. And discretionary access control means they have little bit flexibility. It allows users to delegate permission, not the administrator. The user can delegate permission. Example, I have some folder. I can decide to whom should I share the file, and I can decide what are the permissions they can be given for that file. Okay, I share my folder to my friend and I allow him to edit the file. I allow him to edit the folder. I allow him to just view the file. This is what discretionary access control. Mandatory means the administrator is the only one who grants access, okay, not the user. So example here, we are going to make a we are going to discuss about a file server access and DAR. Okay, so I kept a file network file server for keeping all the data from every employee in departments. Okay, see here, I have my company. I have three departments: accounting, HR, and marketing. Each department having three people working over there. Okay, they all have their own local documents folder. Okay, so what they will do, they will store their local data. Okay, their data in your local folder, documents folder. Okay, it will be, see, Alice is having a folder where he can she can store all the data. Bob can store her data. Carol can store her data, and they all belong to accounting. Okay, so here Alice will have full permission for reading, writing anything inside her folder, local folder. Bob has his own full control for storing and accessing data from his folder. Okay, and these people, okay, all these local data will be stored into linked to the accounting folder. Okay, so from that folder, Alice cannot write any data into others folder. Okay, so he can just others can only read the data from others folder. Okay, and like this, all the folders are being linked to the corporate file server. So here I can see a network of storage. Okay, so inside that I have accounting folder, HR folder, marketing folder. The administrator can see all those. He has all the permissions to access no the data in accounting, HR, and marketing. But each user can only access her own folder. Maybe she can read the other one's files or folder, but she cannot read or she cannot do any alteration. Okay, she cannot delete that file or folder because it is not her folder. This is what we are going to set up for data at rest. Okay. Now, the access controls are not enough, are just not enough for securing data at rest. Okay. What happens? I have a good access control in my laptop. I have my password, username, password to access my data. I have fingerprint access. Okay, I have to scan my retina to enter the laptop, the files, everything. But problem, the laptop itself is stolen by someone. You have mobile phone. You have all the data in mobile phone. Your smartphone having which one, fingerprint scanner or iris scanner. But the smartphone itself is stolen by someone means you can't do anything. Okay, that's what here. All your portable devices are subject to be stolen. Okay, anyone can steal that because it is no costly and it can be easily stolen by someone. So whenever someone steal your laptop or mobile phone, iPad, no, access controls will be useless, right? And see, somebody is stealing your hard disk drive. So the hard disk drive, if you might have stored lot of data and lots of data in hard disk drive. If somebody steal the data or steal the hard disk drive, the data gets compromised. So what is the solution? Solution is encrypt the disk. You can encrypt the whole disk. You have uh, options. Okay, right click and encrypt the whole disk. So when you encrypt that whole disk, okay, even if they take your laptop or you take your hard disk, okay, they cannot access the data because the data is encrypted. That is one solution. Okay, and see here in 2006, what happened now? US defense contractor sold the old hard disk drives on eBay. Okay, there were some old hard disk drives. Okay, the what the defense contractor do, no, they just sold that old hard disk drives. No, he thought it is useless. Okay, so he sold that hard disk drive to on eBay. Okay, like your Amazon. Okay, like your like any like a website. Okay, where we can sell anything. Okay, so he sold all those hard disk drives. He thought it's useless. It's absolute obsolete and it's not useful. So he sold everything. But what happened now? There was some information, critical information, sorry, secret information about US missile defense program was available in that drive. So it was being leaked. Same thing happened in German police department. There was an old hard disk drive. So they sold that old hard disk drive to save that space, no? to manage the space in the office. They sold everything. But what happened that police, sensitive police information, alarm information, everything was there, and these information cost them a lot. Okay, then data at motion. So what I can do in data in which one? Data at rest. I can encrypt the data so that the data, even if you someone open the data, open the storage device, or someone steal the laptop also, the data will be encrypted, so nobody can access the data. It will be secret form. Okay. Then what about data in at motion? Data at motion means anytime the data travel from one place to another. Okay. Example, see here, there is a web server or website. Okay, a server where the web page is hosted. Then this is a desktop PC. I try to download a file, so the file is being, so the packet, as a packet, it moves through the internet and it reaches the desktop computer. Same thing when I download the same, or when I try to open the website from a mobile phone, the downloading the file will be moving through that internet and reaches my mobile phone. This is file on data on transit, or you are moving. Okay, in those cases it may be wired or wireless network. Even wired also, data in transit or motion gets tapped. Okay, and wireless data also can be tapped. Somebody can leak the data. So it is this type of data in motion is vulnerable to improper disclosure and theft of sensitive information. Okay, so sometimes no, the data will be disclosed to unwanted people, and somebody can steal your data. They will just turn on interceptor. They can listen what you are sending the data, what data you are being sending or downloading or uploading. They can steal the data. Okay. So here during the transit, okay, whatever access controls we applied in the OS are relevant. Okay, because we applied everything in the OS. OS is physical, right? So whatever you do in there, it will not be effective, because the data in motion means so many types of attacks will happen. So anybody can steal the data on transit. So how we can secure that? How we can avoid it? Okay, what type of access control we can use it? That we'll discuss in the next slide. See, how do we secure the data in motion? Three things there: data encryption, secure the communication channel, secure the path with a VPN. So data encryption means the email transfer. Okay, somebody sent an email. So email is when you open your Gmail, when you compose a email. Okay, the email will be sent from your machine to email server. Yours will be email client. Okay, from there it will go to the email server. From email server it will be download to email client. Okay, this type of transition. Okay, motion. How we can secure the data? We have encryption for email. Okay, so whenever you are sending email, okay, the email will be encrypted. Encryption means we have encryption algorithm. We have to convert the data into secret form. We have an algorithm and we have a key. By using the key, we will encrypt the data, make the data a confidential form. So even if someone tap your email, even someone download the email, they cannot read the content because it is encrypted. Okay, then secure the communication channel. See, there is one protocol called as application layer protocol called as transport layer security. Okay, they create encrypted two-way communication at the application layer. Okay, so they will encrypt two-way communication. So the one protocol when application we use is HTTPS. Okay, to open a website we usually use HTTP, no, but it is not secret. So whenever you are doing some banking transaction by HTTP, okay, when you use that protocol HTTP in browser, the data whatever you are uploading, downloading, whatever banking transaction you're doing is not encrypted. So it's not confidential. Anyone can read that username password of your banking transaction or email. Okay, those things. Okay, but HTTPS means the data will be encrypted, because the application we use is TLS, transport layer security. Okay, then secure the path with a VPN. So we have to make a, so whenever you want to have a private connection. Okay, say I am working in a particular company, I want to have a private connection with my company network. Okay, I want to have a private network, uh, secured private network between my company and my home network. I need to use VPN tunnels. Okay, that's what the third one. Secure the path with the VPN tunnel, virtual private network. It has already encryption is there, and so they will make the communication encrypted. secret communication between your home network and company network. Three ways we can secure the data in motion. One is encryption, encrypt the data. The second one, communication channel, you should choose like secure the communication channel by using application protocols like TLS. Okay, they encrypt two-way communication. Then we have secure the path with the VPN. So the whole connection, networking, the communication should be done via VPN. Okay. Then access control for file system. So first one, data in motion, data done. Now go for file system. File system, we know. File system means how do we, the mechanism which will tell you how you save the file, how you access the file, how you store the file, data, all those things. Okay. So here we need to create a ACL, access control list, to handle rights management of data and audit data access. Rights management means who can open that file. Okay. Then what is the type of permission given for you? Is it read permission, read only, or read write permission, like that? Then audit data. So whenever you are performing some actions, it should be audited. Say somebody successfully log into your network or log into your system. So we need that logging data. Who, what time, when they logged in. That's what logging. Okay. Now here for that we need ACLs. Okay, access control list. In Windows, we use Active Directory for implementing that ACL. Okay, there we can mention groups. Okay, we can create groups. Then we can say which user can access which file. Okay, and we have so many controls over there. Okay, in an Active Directory, we call it as group policies there. Okay, then Linux we have built-in ACL capability, and Windows PowerShell we use the permission. We use the command get ACL to see the security descriptor of objects. Okay, see here I go to Windows PowerShell. This is the option. Okay, already I opened this one. I have typed the command get hyphen ACL. So here the owner, then access. What is the type of access? Full control. So okay, the user is being allowed full control over the directory. Which directory? C users. Okay, then access control inside that to this option we go for access control. Now it is a collection of access control entity. So what is ACL? It's a control collection of ACE. What is ACE? A security object that define access for user, group, or system. Okay, so who all can access the object? Object may be a file or any device. Okay, so which user can access that object? What are the permissions given for the user on that object? Which groups can access that object? What are the permissions given for him or the group? Like that. And AC says AC has three properties. Okay, what are the three properties? First one, it is okay. SID, security identifier, identifies what the AC applies to user, group, or system. Okay, so it should be an identifier like ACL, access control list number is there. Okay, so it will tell you what type of AC is applied to the user. An access mask tell you what are the rights granted or denied, what are the permissions allowed or denied. And flags will tell you whether the child objects are inherit the rights from object to which AC is attached. I'll tell you that. Okay, if a permission is given to access a folder, even can access the subfolder also, like that. Okay, so see here example, first one in the ACE, three things, right? So first thing is identifier. Who can access that particular folder? Who can access that file? Second one, what are the permissions given for that user? Read plus write or read. What type of permission given? Third one, can it be applied to subfolders? Okay, the folder was allowed for read write for a particular user Alice. Okay, I'm checking whether the subfolder, one folder inside that folder also being allowed to access or not. That's what flags. Okay, so this single simple diagram will tell you What are what are the properties of AC? We have identifier who is going to be allowed or permit to access the folder or file. Second one, what are the permissions given for him or her? Read plus write or read only like that. Extra flag means can they access the subfolders inside that? Okay. Then how do we find the security identifier of users in the Windows system? So security identifier SID is a string value to identify users or groups and control their access. Okay. How do we identify? They'll go to the command prompt and type who am I slash user. That's a space over. Okay. It will identify the user string value to identify the users or groups and what type of control they have. Okay. Go here and I will type who am I space slash user. User information, then the ID number, see how this is what who am I user. One more command is okay. Next is what about that? This is done. Now, how do we find the users? This was the user identity. Okay. Now, next one I will find out what are the types of users in my how many users are there? What are the identity of those users? Okay. So see here, I go here, not here. Okay. Find the user type. What are the different types of users? Okay. When I go here, I can see the WMIC user account get name SID. So I want to know who are the users, their name, okay, then their ID. This is for one user and ID. This one is how many users are there in my machine. Admin default account guest Lenovo. Then this user all their identity ID security identifier. Okay. Then we have this one done. Then different types of ACE access control entry. Okay, right. This one, see, this was access control for file systems. Then we have access control list ACL. There we have ACE, access control entity. They have three property SID, security identifier, access mask, and flag. Okay, sorry, flag. Then we have security identifier for users. How do you identify the security identifier a user? Go for who am I slash space user. I am the current user is this one, my ID. Okay. How to find all my users here? All my users. Who am I? See WMIC space user account get name SID. So all the users, their IDs. This is the details of the person who made this okay PPT in his machine. But in my machine, I can go here and type who am I slash user. I can see the username and ID. When I type WMIC user account get name as ID, I'll list all the users available with their ID. Okay, ID. Now this is done. Now what are the different types of ACs? Primary types of AC. Okay, so three things are access denied, access allowed, system model. Access denied means denies the SID specific access to object. Okay, what are the which one? Permissions denied for the user on an object. Access allowed means like access denied means like read allowed. Okay, or read write disabled. This is what access denied. Access allowed means the specific rights to a SID. So read only allowed. So what type of permissions allowed for a user on object is given by access denied and access allowed. System audit means they will be auditing what are the actions the SID performs on object. Okay. So whenever you log in successfully, then it will be recorded. Whenever your login failed, that also will be kept as an audit. Okay. So access control entity, three types are there. Access denied means to denies the SID, the secure identifier, a particular access to object. Sometimes no, read only allowed, write is denied. Okay, that is access denied. Access allowed means so read only allowed or some read write is allowed. That what type of permissions allowed for the SID on an object or user on object is access allowed. System mode means whatever you do, it will be recorded. Okay, whenever you perform an action, it will be logged. That's what system audit. Okay, then discretionary access control list. This is ACL applied directly on file system and affects only users and data on the system. Okay, so here it is ACL which controls access to object, and they will mention what access allowed or denied. Okay, see here an example. The owner is editing. Okay, he has the right. That's what, see in the first slide you would have mentioned. Discretionary access control means allows users to delegate permission, not the administrator. User will delegate the permission. He will decide. Okay. So when you go back to this one, okay, here the owner gives permissions. Okay, gives full control for Alice. Alice can do all the operations in that folder. Then Bob can only read the folder or file. Interns can deny. They are denied right. They cannot write any data, anything onto the folder. This is what discretionary access control is. Okay, a user can decide. He can delegate the permission. He can decide who should have full control, who should have read control, who should have no control. Don't deny right means no right permission. Okay, this is what discretionary access control is. This works only on file system. That's on the file system. Okay, it affects the users and data on that file system. Then system access control list means this is being done by the administrator. Okay, administrator will do the system created access control list. Okay, they handles information assurance, and see here we have an example over here, and see administrators will be setting this ACL, and they are not going to permit or deny any user or SID on an object. Okay, they are not going to permit a user to read a data or write only. They will not permit or deny. They will just audit what are the actions happening. Okay, so that's what system access control list should. Okay, it is a system created access control list. It's being set by administrator. Okay, so they will be setting the rules, auditing rules. They are not going to allow anyone to read a data from a file, or they are not going to deny someone writing a data. Okay, they just set the auditing rules. Okay, they will just see here when Alice write the data, say auditing, a recording is done, they will log audit success. And if everyone fails to read the data, again audit failure. So they will just audit or record, log the actions or transactions. Okay, so they will be also focus on where do we store these audit information. See here, whenever that rule triggered, okay, audit success happens or audit failure happens, they will write the information to system root system 32 winv2 log secure.events. Okay, here they will record all these things. How we can view that? Go to event viewer, Windows log security. Okay, in your computer you have event viewer, no? The event viewer. Here you can check those logs. Okay, so this is the access control is set by the administrator. They never permit or deny any user to access any object or file. They will just log or audit the actions happening. Say someone Alice write the file, so audit success. Where someone fails to read, it will be audit failure. All those things will be recorded, audited, or logged like syslog server. Then where you will store information in this path, how we can view that? Go to event viewer and check that security logs. Okay. See here is mentioned, they will record all the attempts to access objects. So whenever someone accesses the object in that system, they will record maybe success or failure. Sometimes they will record the successful transactions or successful accessing the data. Sometimes they will record all the access failed. Okay, they never actually allow or deny access. They will not allow or deny someone to access the file or folder. They are not caring. They don't care. They will just go for recording the attempts, whether they successfully somebody attempted to read the data or they fail. Those things they will record. Okay. Then third one, access control for executables. Executable means applications. Okay. So in our computer, there are so many applications. We can't allow an application to be accessing the whole system. They can access only the file. The applications can access only the files which are important for application to be run. Okay, so because in a machine there are so many files and folders. Okay, so whenever you install an application, the application will not be allowed to access every files and folders. Okay, so they can access only some such files which are needed to run the application. Why? Because when the application gets compromised, when a hacker compromises the application, if the application is allowed to access all the files, means the hacker will try to get all the files and folders and corrupt everything in the system. But if the application itself has only limited access to files and folders, then even if the application gets hacked, it will not create much problem because they have only access to the files which are related to the application. Okay, see here, there's a shop app user account. Okay, so they can read write only in this particular folder. Okay, that path only, variable www shop app, only the path they can read and write. Also temporary folder. Okay, they cannot access, the shop app cannot access or denied access to etc password where they have the hashed passwords. Okay, also home folder they cannot access. So whenever someone hack that application, someone take the control of this application, they can only access these two folders where they have files and folders related to application. They cannot access etc password or home folder. Okay, this is given in access control for executables. Okay, and we have internal access control is there under that. Internal access control means, so they are necessary where the application holds sensitive information in a format not accessible to general file system. Okay, example, some applications have some important data like in a database, no, the data stored in tables or binary large objects. These should be secured. They can't be accessed by general file system. There's only internal data. Okay, there also we can have ACLs. Okay, we'll put the ACLs and they will protect those data. Again, discretionary access control, what I told you, user will be delegating the permission for others to access or deny the particular file or folder. There is no admin. The user will be deciding. Two types of discretionary access control: explicit and implicit. First, I'll tell TS. I'll go for example. Okay, explicit means clearly they will delegate the rights given to a particular user who can use that file, who can open that file. Okay, or what they can do. Implicitly means once you are given right to access a folder, you can access the subfolder also. That's what implicitly. Okay. See here, Alice is the owner. So as per discretionary access control, Alice can decide. He can delegate the rights for other users to read or write the file or folder, which is under his control. See here, Alice right click the folder and share with Bob and give edit option. Now what happened? Bob can edit any file inside that folder is shared by Alice. That is what explicit. Implicit means already Bob got the editing permission for budget folder. Okay, inside the budget we have another folder. So implicit means as Bob already got the edit permission for budget folder, inside that folder whatever file is there, Bob is ready automatically edit those subfolders. That's what implicit. Okay, done. Then what are the best practices for access control for information system? So one is create a baseline for access. Okay, so here identify the holes in access. Okay, what are the vulnerabilities in the access? Identify which users have rights beyond their needs. Okay, somebody was given read access, but when I tested, it was they also have write access. So we want to find out that. That is create a baseline for access. Okay. Then segregate users' rights by their role. You should give them a clear idea. What are the permissions you are being given? Okay. So your developers do not need access to production database. So in a company we have developers and we have production database folder. They are not allowed to access the production database. Sales executives, okay, sales executives cannot access accounts system. So you should separate them. Each user has their own which one area. Okay, you can access only there that type of data related to you, and you should tell them permissions. Okay, what are the do's and don'ts? What files you can access? What you cannot access? Okay, automate user creation means whenever a user joins a company, whenever someone leaves the company, you want to modify his or her rights quickly and correctly. See, immediately. I told you, whenever someone employee leaves the organization, you should take back the controls. Okay. If you're not taking back the control, maybe he has some issue with the company using that whatever data controls we have. No, he may delete, go to any extent and delete the data in the database. He may corrupt the database. So that's why whenever someone join the company or leave the company, the access control should be modified. Some will be given more permissions, some will be given some will be removed the permissions. Okay. Then that is third step in best practice. Okay. Fourth step is access controls to environment. Okay. So there are different types of access controls depends upon the environment. Okay. So here for a VPN communication, I need to have two-factor authentication. Okay. For implementing virtual private network connection between your home network and your office network, we need two-factor, not just username password. We need to have some encrypted key like that. Okay, two-factor. But for accessing the intranet site, so some website which is in my LAN connection, okay, or any entity, any machine in my LAN, I want access means I can use light access control like passwords. Okay, then have a clear standard for decommissioning data storage device. Okay, so there should be a standard method to guarantee that data is removed from device before disposal. See, when we were discussing about the access control in the, I think, slide number, is that, I show you that one example here. Here, see, the defense contractor in US defense contractor, okay, they sold the obsolete or old hard disk on eBay. So before selling, you should have checked whether any data is available in that drive. See, there was some important data about US missile program inside that drive, hard disk drive. Without checking that, that guy sold that hard disk drives for few bucks, okay, few money or okay dollars. So what happened? The data got leaked. Same thing here. Before you dispose any device, so make sure the data is removed from the device. Okay, that's what coming under best practices for access control for information system. Okay, these are things coming under chapter or module 7. Hope you understood. Okay.